A task manager overview. So the task manager is going to help you define and simplify a standard repeatable process. So we can execute the process, but we can also report on the activities for the given period. There are a number of dashboards out of the box which allow you to track how much of the process and how many of the tasks have been completed, for example. So it allows you to build structured lists of tasks which guide the user through the monthly close, for example. So it gives you centralized monitoring tools in the form of dashboards to see how much of these tasks have been completed by which particular users. Because it uses a workflow, you'll find that you can work through tasks in a more collaborative manner. So we can allocate out certain tasks to teams of people. The logical order of the list can also be enforced. We can determine precedence. So for example, in the screenshot we can see here, we can see that the load GL data through data management is the first task. And under the status, you can see that that is open. The tasks after it, though, reviewing the income statement data and reviewing the balance sheet, are currently closed. They have been set up with the precedence that we need to work through and submit the first task, and then further tasks will open. So, as well as defining a logical order, we can force the user's work through the list in certain orders. If you wish, you can enable email notifications, so users will be notified of the due dates and the status changes. For example, once I submit the task review income statement data, another user could be emailed and then be prompted to approve that task. That relates to the workflow that you can assign to each of the tasks in the task manager. Here we've got an idea of some of the types of tasks that we could set up in the form of schedules for types of users. So the typical things the administrator might do is, well, they need to prepare the close process. They need to create the schedules that the users are going to work with. And as part of that creation of the close schedule, they'll define what period 0 is. So within the working calendar, we can define the start and the end range, and we can also define for each month what day 0 is. You'll need to do some preparation around the reporting periods. For example, you'll need to set the point of view for FDME. You'll need to open the journal periods. You might then want to go into manage ownership and check the ownership structures are correct. And then you can start the entities and review opening balances. As part of the admin tasks, you'll need to load FX rates as well. So we could have a close schedule for administrators which guide us through these tasks. Towards the end of the month, we look at the closing the reporting period. So you might want to extract, upload and reconcile FCCS with any other systems. And then you might want to complete and lock down data as the finishing element of the process. We could build schedules with tasks for end users. So typically the end users will load their data through data management. It might be done centrally for them, or they might need to do it themselves. They may have external templates which allow them to transform and upload their GL data. And then when it comes to the primary submission and working within FCCS, they'll need to review the key statements of the P&L and the balance sheet. Hopefully they'll see the derived cash flow. But they also need to review and complete any intercompany mismatches, and that needs to be timed accordingly. As part of the process, we can show the users forms that contain validations. If users need to make adjustments, we can give them tasks for journals to allow them to make those adjustments. And then finally, they will sign off the primary data. They might also have a phase of supplementary data submission where we can provide the users with supplemental data forms to give them the opportunity to add stat notes, include the movements over time, and then from that they can consolidate and review and confirm the cash flow, clearing validations as they go. In FCCS we also have power users. So power users may run the group consolidation, which could be automated to be scheduled to occur every so many hours. It could be that the user can run a consolidation themselves. The power user can run the intercompany matching reports and then request any corrections for the end users. They can review more summarized income statements and balance sheet, and again request any changes from the end users. Once adjustments have been made, we can run consolidations and view those adjustments. And finally, we can sign off the actual primary submission. And again, relating to a supplementary submission, we could review the cash flow, review the stat notes, make some final adjustments, and again, prepare and promote and sign off the data. So these are typical tasks for our administrators, for our end users, and our power users. And using task management, we can build very structured lists of tasks that can guide the users through these standard repeatable processes.